Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, we from Group 12 will present the result of our group discussion. The first, let me introduce myself, Suci Nur Amamina, as the moderator, my partner Sylvia Soleha and Sizani Sofari as presenters. Background, monetary policy is important instrument used by central bank to control economic stability, especially and maintain exchange rate stability, controlling inflation, and encouraging sustainable economic growth by regulating the money supply and interest rate. This policy plays a role in create an economic climate conducive to investment and consumption in the ever-changing global and domestic context. Monetary policy is one of the main pillars in maintaining national economic balance. Problem formulation. The first, understanding monetary policy, classification of monetary policy, objective of monetary policy, economic stability indicators, and money. The first material I will explain. Understanding monetary policy is the process of managing a nation's money supply to achieve specific goals, such as curbing inflation, achieving full employment of good well-being. Monetary policy may involve setting interest rate, margin requirement, capitalization for bank, of even acting as a leader of last resort or through negotiation agreements with other governments. Monetary policy is basically a policy that aims to achieve internal balance or have economic growth, precisely stability, economic development, and external balance, as well as achieving macroeconomic goals, namely maintain economic stabilization that can be measured by employment opportunities, price stability, and a balanced international balance of payment. Monetary policy is effort to achieve a high level of economic growth in a sustainable manner while maintain price stability. To achieve this goal, the central bank or monetary authority tries to regulate the balance between the money supply and the supply of goods so that inflation can be controlled. Classification of monetary policy split on the first expression monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. Expansionary monetary policy is a policy in order to increase the amount of money in circulation. This policy is carried out to overcome unemployment and increase people's purchasing power or public demand. This policy is implemented when the economy experiences a recession or the depression. Contractionary monetary policy. Contractionary monetary policy is a policy that is carried out in order to reduce the amount of money is in circulation. This policy is carried out when the economy is experiencing inflation. Contractionary monetary policy is also called tight money policy. Monetary policy instruments including number one, open market operation, number two, discussion facility or discount rate, number three, reserve requirement ratio, and then moral persuasion. Open market open open market operation are a way to control money in circulation by selling or buying government securities. If the government want to increase the amount of money in circulation, it will be buy government securities. However, if it want to Open market operation. Open market operation are a way to control money in circulation by selling or buying government securities. If the government want to increase the amount of money in circulation, it will buy government securities. However, if it want to reduce the amount of money in circulation, the government will sell government securities to the public. Number two, discount facility or discount rate. Discount facility is the regulation of the amount of money in circulation by applying the central bank interest rate on commercial bank. Commercial banks sometimes experience a shortage of money, so they have to borrow from the central bank. To increase the amount of money, the government lowers the bank central interest rate and conversely raise the interest rate to reduce the money in circulation. Well, the next material will be read by Sylvia Soleha.
Reserve requirement ratio. The reserve requirement ratio is to regulate the amount of money in circulation by applying with the amount of the reserve fund that must be deposited with the government. To increase the amount of money, the government lowers the reserve requirement ratio. To decrease the amount of money in circulation, the government raises the ratio. Moral appeal, moral persuasion. Moral appeal is a monetary policy to regulate the amount of money in circulation by giving an appeal to economic actors. For example, such as appealing to credit, giving banks to be culpable in is using credit to reduce the amount of money in circulation and appealing. Objective of monetary policy. 1. Maintaining an economic stability, meaning that the growth of the flow of goods and service in balance with the growth of the flow of available goods and service. 2. Maintaining price stability, meaning that the price of an item is the result of the interaction between the amount of money in circulation and the amount of money available in the market. To circulation currency as a means of exchange in the economy. For maintaining a balance between the economy's liquidity needs and price level stability. 5. Optimal distribution of liquidity in order to achieve the desired economic growth in various economic sectors. 6. Assist the government in carrying out obligation that cannot be realized through normal sources of income. 7. Increase employment opportunity when the economy is stable. 8. Entrepreneurs will make investment to increase the number of goods and services so that investments will open up new jobs and thus expand people's job and opportunity. 9. Improve the trade relation of the community. This can be done by increasing export and reducing foreign input entering the country of 5 verses. Economic stability indicator. Monetary policy aims to achieve economic stability, which can be measured by 1. Employment opportunity, 2. Price stability, 3. International balance of payment. Employment opportunity. The larger the area for business, the greater the increase in production. This increase in production will be followed by the needs for labor, meaning that 3. There will be an increase in job opportunity and employee welfare. Job stability. One, when the price stability is achieved, trust will arise in society. Two people believe that the goods they buy now will have the same price in the future. International balance of payment. One, a balanced international balance of payment indicates economic stability in a country. Two, in order to balance the international balance of payment, the government often implement monetary policies. Three, regulation of the amount of money circulation in society is regulated by increasing and decreasing the amount of money in circulation.
Thank you for reading the material. The next material will be read by Sizani Sofari.
Okay, I will explain about money. Money in traditional economies is defined as money exchange that can be any object that can be accepted by everyone in society in the process in the changing good and the service. In modern economics, money defined as something that available in general object as a means of the payment for the purchase of goods and service and the other valuable asset and for the payment of the debts. Some experts also mention the function of money as a tool payment delay. Next, function of money. In general, money function as intermediary of exchange goods for goods. Also to avoid trade by barter. In moral detail, the function of money are divided into two, namely, the first original function, second derivative function. The original function of money are three, namely, one, as a medium of the exchange, meaning they can facilitate exchange. People who while exchange do not need to the exchange with goods, but simply use money as means of the exchange. Difficulties of the exchange by barter can be overcome by exchanging money. Two, as a unit of account, because money can be used to show trade, show the amount of wealth, and calculate the amount of loans. Money can also be used to determine the price of goods or service price indicator. As a means of accounting, money plays a role in facilitating exchange. Next. Three, as a means of storing value or currency, because it can be used to transfer purchasing power from the present to the future. When a seller recklessly raises a sum of money as payment for the goods and service he sells, he can save the money to be used to buy goods and service in the future. Derivative function of money. The first as a means of the payment, as a means of paying the debts, as a tool for storing or transferring wealth, and as a tool to improve social status.
Okay, thank you for reading for Sizani. Next case study 1 and 2 will be explained by Sizani.
Okay, I will explain about case study 1, the effect of monetary policy and economic growth, case study of Indonesia. This study analyzes the effect of the monetary policy on Indonesia economic growth using time series that from 1986 to 2089. The variable study include inflation, money supply, exchange rate, and interest rate with gross domestic product as the dependent variable. The result of the analysis show that inflation has significant negative effect on economic growth. We are 1% increase in inflation can cause the decrease in the economic growth of 164%. On the other hand, the money supply and the exchange rate have significant positive effect, whereas 1% increase in has the potential to increase economic growth by 754%. Next, interest rate, despite having a negative coefficient, do not have a significant effect on economic growth. This finding is the line with the theory that monetary policy can affect economic growth in the short term, but the effect is temporary and insignificant in the long term. Overall, monetary policy can drive economic growth in Indonesia, but it isn't the careful management of high inflation. The study suggests the need for tight supervision and regulation of the financial sector to achieve the monetary policy efficiency. Next, case 2, analysis of the influence of monetary policy on the impact of inflation in Indonesia. Case study 2002 2022. This study analyzes the effect of monetary policy in inflation in Indonesia during the period 2002 to 2022. Inflation is important economic phenomenon and is often the focus of government policy. The study used secondary data from Bank Indonesia and the Central Bureau of Statistics, covering variable of interest rates, money supply, and exchange rates. The result of the analysis with multi-path linear regression show that the interest rate has a significant effect on the inflation rate, while the money supply and exchange rate do not show a significant impact individually. However, when analyzed simultaneously, the three variables contribute on 65% to inflation, indicating that the monetary policy implement is quite influential in controlling inflation. This concludes confirm the importance of interest rate management in monetary policy to maintain inflation stability, while other factors such as exchange rate and the money supply need to be further evaluated to understand their roles comprehensively. The study provides insight from polymath screening in formulating more effective monetary strategies. That all will explanation for me. I will return to the moderator.
Okay, thanks to explain for Suzani. The next case study I will explain. Case study 3. The role of monetary policy in Indonesia in dealing with inflation. In this case, there are several main problems, namely the challenge of controlling inflation, which is still above the target due of fluctuation in international commodity price and the rupiah exchange rate. The need for increased coordination between Bank Indonesia, monetary policy, and the government's fiscal policy to maintain economic stability. The importance of transparency in monetary policy and better communication with the market to prevent inflationary pressure. The impact of global economic fluctuation on the inflation rate and management of market expectation through excessive communication in order to reduce possible volatility. Advance, the result of the analysis show that the monetary policy implement by Bank Indonesia has proven quite effective in controlling inflation in Indonesia. Interest rate adjustment, open market operation, and other monetary policy instruments have been actively utilized by Bank Indonesia to keep inflation within its target range. Factors such as aggregate demand, product cost, international commodity price, and exchange rate to also affect the inflation rate in Indonesia. However, Bank Indonesia has been able to control inflation effectively through upward monetary policies. However, challenges such as fluctuation in international commodity price and currency exchange rates still need to be addressed in the future. Therefore, Bank Indonesia needs to continue to improve coordination with the government in design fiscal policies that can reduce the dependence of the Indonesian economy on international commodity price. In addition, transparency in monetary policy and better communication with the market are also key to maintaining price stability and preventing excessive inflationary pressures. Case study 4, Monetary and Fiscal Policy, a case study of the global economic crisis. The global economic crisis has become a seriously challenge for the global economy in the last few decades. In the context, monetary and fiscal policy have become the main instrument used by government and monetary authorities to overcome the negative impact of the crisis. The studies on the global economic crisis provide valuable insight into the effectiveness of monetary and fiscal policies in overcoming the economic crisis that hit various countries. The importance of strategies implemented by various countries in that line with the global economic crisis, as well as the impact on economic recovery within the framework of monetary policy. This study highlights the use of policy tools such as interest rate policy, open market operation, and quantitative easing in responding to the crisis. Okay, the next study will be explained by Sylvia Soleha.
Okay, I will continue the explanation. Case study 5. Monetary policy, the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic that began to hit Indonesia since March 2020 has put great pressure on the national economy. The initial impact that was seen was the turmoil in the financial sector, where the rupiah exchange rate surplus to 16,000 per USD dollar, and the composite stock price index fell drastically to 4,358. The uncertainty that arose due to the increase in COVID-19 cases caused market panic. Worsening macroeconomic stability, they saw that the financial market is very sensitive to global health crisis. A quick and appropriate response from the authorities is needed to minimize further impact. In response to this situation, Bank Indonesia, as the monetary authority, took an expansionary policy by lowering the BI 7-day research repo rates by 25 basic point to 4.75% in February 2020. This policy was intended to lower borrowing costs, maintain banking liquidity, and increase domestic demand to keep the economy moving. The results were positive, although economic pressure had not completely subsided. The rupiah began to strengthen, and the GCI experienced a gradual reverse. This saw that monetary policy, especially interest rate regulation, plays an important role in stabilizing the market and building the confidence of economic actors in the mindset of crisis. Talk the analysis of the VRR vector outtegration model. The study found that the shock from the increase in COVID-19 cases only had a temporary impact of the exchange rate and the GHG. There is not long-term relationship between the variable, but there is a two-way causal relationship when the exchange rate and this GHG. This indicates that the effectiveness of a monetary policy is very visible in the short term, especially when the crisis is ongoing. The low interest rate policy has succeeded in maintaining the stability of the financial sector and encouraging the economy recovery process. Therefore, responsive and credible monetary policy has proven to be an important instrument in maintaining national economic resolution during the pandemic. Case 2D6. Analysis of monetary policy shocks in an open economy, the case of two economic sectors in Indonesia. This case study discusses how monetary policy shocks in open economy affects macroeconomic variable in Indonesia, particularly the inflation rate, real exchange rate, and tradable and non-tradable sector output. Using clearly that from 2002 to 2012 and the factor autoregression VRR approach, the results show that the response of economic variable to change in the BI rate is not entirely in line with prediction for monetary economy theory. In several cases, causal phenomena were found, such as an increase in the BI rate, the was responded positively by the output on the tradable and not tradable sector, and the exchange rate experienced decretion, not an appreciation. In the framework of macroeconomic theory, container monetary policy drove increasing interest rates suppress egress demand, reduce investment, and ultimately reduce inflation and output. However, the empirical results in this case show that the output economic sector actually increased in the short term after the BI rate increased. Likewise, the real exchange rate show discretion, contrary to the theory that an increase in interest rates sorts attacks capital inflows and certain the exchange rates. This result indicates that monetary policy transmission channel in Indonesia has not been running effective, or that there are external and structural factors that influence market response. The finding explain the importance of evaluating the effectiveness of monetary policy in Indonesia, especially in the context of an increasingly complex economy. Although the interest rate instrument is still the main tool in controlling inflation, the result of this study indicated that the response of the real sector to monetary policy is not always as expressed. 3. For monetary authorities need to pay more attention to the dynamic of the tradable and not tradable sector, and that 10. The transmission mechanism so that the policy taken are able to create economy target opportunity, both in the short and long term. Okay, I want return to the in the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia, for explaining the studi kasus. Well, that's all the presentation from group 12. I apologize if there are the mistake in the words. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.